You ready to go to work?
Yeah, go ahead. Lay it down, kid.
You sit on the toilet, don't you? Use that as your meditation.
Not my wife, not your wife, nor anybody listening to this podcast has eaten a shit sandwich we didn't have a hand in making.
Welcome to Recovery Unfiltered. I'm Larry. I'm an alcoholic.
I am Rob. I am also an alcoholic. We are not professionals. There are no letters after our names. We know very little. However, you will hear the word God and a four-letter word in the same sentence. You will also be offended. So if you are easily offended, just pass us by. This podcast is not for you.
Our opinions are just that. If you don't agree with what we're saying, that's okay. We're going to love you anyways. We are not in any way affiliated with AA.
So sit back, grab a beverage of your choice, and get ready.
Let's go. Hello, Robert.
Hey.
What happened?
We just got back from Webster's, and the shit sandwich came up.
Webster's Dictionary.
Yeah, that's about what I had.
The restaurant.
It's not bad. It's not as good as you remember.
Did it create a shit sandwich?
It's gonna create something. Just hold on. We might take a break.
That's funny.
But I don't eat a lot of that. Though the closest thing to fast food that I eat, I know In-N-Out's fast food. I get that, but I don't.
It's not fast food.
I don't classify it as that. That's the only thing. I don't mean. I haven't had anything since before cancer. I haven't had no McDonald's or. So we're talking like 5 years. But In-N-Out, I'll eat that.
That's not fast food to me.
Exactly.
That is the best freaking hamburger you can get in a quick and in the cheapest.
Oh yeah, we love In-N-Out.
You know how you could? I always use them from an analogy. You know why In-N-Out Burger is successful and are cheap? Because they do one fucking thing and they do it to perfection.
Yeah, well, their menu's small.
To perfection.
They just have a very limited menu, and this is what we do.
And they do it to perfection.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so we're recording on a Monday. Actually, we're recording on a Tuesday. Our schedules are kind of whacked out because of the memorial. Tuesday night or Tuesday after our meeting, and last night Nathan come walking in. Nathan's been on the sorry. Our Monday night meeting was last night, and Nathan come walking in last night, and he looks fucking amazing, dude. I can't get over that guy. Watching his transition is incredible.
And transformation.
That transformation is just incredible. You know.
Hey, and if you got to see, I mean, you didn't, because we got to go watch him grapple. You know, because me and him, he and I, came in April, so we're a month in. We're like 4 weeks into this. Right. And I did not compete. Jason.
Why did you not compete?
Did not plan on competing. I wanted to make sure my shoulder was ready. Touch of fear.
There you go.
I wanted to make sure I was in shape. I wanted to make sure all my ducks in a row.
There you go.
Bullshit. Anyway,
It was bullshit.
Anyway, but Nathan had to go.
Let me ask you.
He got pushed, and man, it was
good.
Beautiful.
Did you happen to watch the class you would have been in, or the weights?
I watched every class that from.
But did you watch the one you would have been in?
Yeah.
You should have won it, huh?
I wouldn't have broke a sweat.
Were you in Jason's? Because when I talked to Eric about it, he said Jason shouldn't have broke a sweat either.
He didn't. No, because it's not fair for me and Jason to compete against each other. We wouldn't do that anyway.
Right.
So,
would you been in his same class?
No, Jason's heavier. Jason was in 205s. I would be 168s.
Oh, you're way smaller.
Yeah. Well, no, but right now I'm 84s.
Would you have lost to go down?
Yeah, well, I walk. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, I'm 178.
Gotcha.
Every day.
Okay.
You know, throughout the day, whether I eat and drink, I usually I don't get much above 182.
Right.
With clothes on.
Right.
So yeah, I'd go down to 68s because I want to.
You can lose that quick, huh?
Yeah. Just water shit.
That is true.
Sweat.
That is true. So I also, another kind of update. I talked to. Remember a while back we had Rachel Berry on, Dr. Berry.
Yeah. Isn't she a?
Not yet. I reached out to her today because she's been on my mind a lot, right?
Well, we were going to have her back on.
Well, I want to get her back on, and I reached out to her today, just trying to figure out where she's at as far as her. My email or my text to her was, "Are you Dr. Berry yet?" And she goes, "No, 6 more weeks." So she's got 6 more weeks, and I said, "Okay, when you're doctor, you're coming on." She goes, "Deal." And I said, "But this time in studio." And she says, "Deal." So
that'd be awesome.
I want her in here so bad because there's so much more from her podcast, and we've had so much on since then that I would just love to get. And now we can actually call her a doctor, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to get her in here. So, anyways, I wanted to go over a couple topics, Rob. We are recording this we're going to get into Memorial Weekend, and then we have 2 more guests coming on when we record next time. So this is our last one together. Next time we're going to record, we're going to have a couple guests. So, perfect. Right. So, but I wanted to bring something up that we talked about last night. Couple things that we're going to go over and just try to keep your temper to a minimum. A minimum.
It's
right?
not anger, it's passion.
What did Mike call it? He calls it damn it.
Yeah, it's in the Bible. What does the Bible say? Zealous.
Zealous. Very zealous.
He calls me not a zealot.
No.
With a T. Zealous.
So, which is fun because I've said this multiple times that
do you guys do this shit? Just
what?
Do you guys bring this shit up just to get a rise? Just hey, watch
I
this.
don't.
I'm gonna get a rise out of Rob. Watch me say this.
You know what I always do is I will every once in a while. I'll look at Doug. I go, watch this. Watch this. He was triggered, just to see how. But
But the Andrew thing was good. I'm glad he was there. And
that's what I kind of want to go to, right? Because when we got into that a few podcasts back, we talked about triggers and we went down that road. And we kind of got into it a little bit with the same guy that he's talking about triggers. And he went out, he tried to do some experimenting again. He went out trying to see if he could survive. Himself. Right. And he realized that the alcohol was treating him the same way as it did before.
And he realized there was no trigger. Right. He drank because he was alcoholic and not spiritually fit.
Right. So he came in.
He did not find Roy Rogers' horse this time. Go fucking figure.
So he came in last night and he was there. And the top, we were basically reading through Into Action. And I think he when we were talking about the amends, he stopped. And one of the things he said he brought up, well, how do you make, because he's obviously done this a couple times. And his thing was, well, I've already made my amends to all the people that I've, these last 2 times that I went out, I didn't do anything to anybody. So do I go back and make the same amends all over again? And I think you made a very valid point, and I was thinking it, and I think Doug, there was multiple people in there thinking the same thing. And well, motherfucker, obviously you didn't get to the bottom of the problem, right?
You didn't get to the bottom of something. Right. So how free do you want to be?
Right. And I think what kind of triggered that was this.
Click that word.
No, that's not where I wanted to go. That's not where I wanted to go. This is another subject, but what that part right there is we stayed on that for quite a while, right?
Well, we went to 102 about having an alcoholic mind because Bill brings that up twice on page 42, I believe, and then page 101 talks about, you can't shield a man from drinking. You can't move away from it. It's everywhere. If a man can't handle certain situations, he still has an alcoholic mind. There's something wrong with his spiritual status, which is a fact. And we've seen that. I mean, the beautiful thing about our little test subjects in our Monday night meeting, there's people of different, you got Scott with 30 plus years, Pat with 30 plus years, me in the middle, Doug with 21, John with 21.
Right. There's a lot of sobriety in that room.
But then younger guys too. And look at Gabriel going out.
Right.
And then coming back in. Okay, Gabe, walk us through it. And it's identical to what the book describes.
Same thing. Andrew, and he's disappeared again.
Yeah, Andrew, walk us through it. Yeah. It's exactly what, so it just drives home how accurate our basic text is.
And it goes back to another thing I've said. And one of the things that's roughest thing for me to say is, and I may have talked about it on the podcast already, and if I have, I apologize. But it's true. It's hard to hear.
If it's true, don't ever apologize because they need to hear. You
no,
can't hear the
and
truth
I know,
too
but some people judge us by some of the words we say.
I love to be judged. Shit.
There was a gentleman just passed away, and he hung himself here a while back, and
Add sober living.
Yes, I wasn't going to. Yes, he was in sober living when it happened, and he hung himself. And I was talking to one of the guys that knew him very well, and my response was, listen, this is going to be very hard for you to hear, but understand this: some of us have to die, so other of us may live. I mean, remember being told that when I was fairly new into sobriety. I'm like, well, that's a fucked up thing to say.
I remember ripping it. We've talked about this because I chewed out an old timer at the Oakdale meeting. His name was he's dead now. Praise. No.
Stop it, Rob. Rob it.
Okay, I just backed up. I shouldn't say that.
Right. Forgive me, Lord.
He was a dick. He was an old dry dick. Sorry, he was. And he had the same share every time. You're going to hear about his ex-wife, the 2 ex-wives, the one that got the retirement, this half his retirement, then the second ex-wife. I don't care if the topic was love. You're going to hear about these 2 women. One got the house, one got half the retirement. That's all you're going to hear from Frank. But one time he said that there's a person whose friend died. Well, killed themselves. They.
Yeah.
And he said that to this newcomer. Well, some of us got to live. It's
Newcomer.
It's and that's bullshit. None of us have to die.
No, we don't have to.
We choose to. Is it going to happen?
Right.
It does. It seems to.
Right.
But just the way he said it, well, some of us got like it's acceptable. Don't accept that bullshit. Right. It doesn't have to happen either.
No, it's not. It's not
for every life.
It sucks, but
I get what you're saying, though.
But it's some of us. I mean, I know this.
We were there. We were close.
Yes, sir. I mean, when I see somebody else go out, not even go out and do any damage, they just go out and come right back in, and everything. They're right back where they were. They didn't lose anything, but they go out and they come back in, and seeing that broke look on their face, right? It reminds me why I'm not going to fucking do it. Right? I don't want to fucking do that again. I don't know if I can make it back again, quite honestly.
I don't have, I'm sure I got another drunk in me, but I don't have another recovery.
No, and I say that all the time. Listen, I walk around with all these fucking tattoos on me you know why I do all this? It's insurance for me. Because if I fucking do all this, motherfucker, I ain't going to go drink again. Because if I go to drink, I got to look down at this fucking arm. Mm-hmm. And I got to go, what the fuck?
And really? You got to pay some money to get that date changed.
You ain't fucking lying. And I ain't doing it. Right?
Not today.
Not today. Right? It's like we said this morning, the bills, what they ever put, dude, what you put.
Deja vu.
Oh my God. I fucking died laughing. That was
fucking Groundhog Day again. For the same guy.
Byron, I fucking love you, but you don't read our fucking group text. Read the motherfucker before you start posting. God bless it, bud.
Put the can down.
Gee, stop.
Start reading.
Stop.
And don't double text.
Damn it. Your response this morning was fucking hilarious. But anyways, yeah, we got to see. I mean, for me, when I see it, it just, it reminds me.
But it doesn't have to happen, but it's going to happen because, that's just the way things are. That's humans are.
Right. Yeah. And it's just.
And they're like scouts.
Right.
That's what we call them.
Right. They
go out, they come back in with arrows stuck in their ass. Hey, it still don't work.
Right.
Alcohol's still fucking you up. I'll stay sober then. Thank you for that information.
But they make it back. Right.
Some of them don't.
Right. That's what I told Andrew last night. I go, we're just glad to hear you're back. You're just glad you're back. You're going to take some shit from us, just like poor Aaron does, right?
Yeah.
We love you, you prick. Stop doing it.
But if we didn't love you, we wouldn't even talk.
No. That's what I love fucking Aaron to death, but God damn it, dude. Fuck. Come on. And I love that guy to death, and everything I want, everything I have, I'd give to him to make sure he doesn't do that again. But anyways, that was something I wanted to talk about.
But again, we have such a the meeting now, our Monday night group is what, 20, I mean,
there was 22 of us there last night.
And that's not even a fold up.
No.
But it's such a big enough testing pool.
Right.
I hate to say it that way, but you don't
know. No, 1,000%. There's AA meetings that aren't that big.
No, but the beautiful thing is every experience we've had, the good ones and the bad ones. I wouldn't say the bad experiences, but the learning ones. These guys go back out and they drink when they were doing everything. We go right to the book. Oh, here's where you were. Oh, and then they see it. And it just, not only does it drive home that our basic text is true. Right. But hopefully they glean a little bit more. They gain a little bit more trust in these words. Hey, and next time they're watching someone else do it. Right. Hey, I've already learned that lesson because I trust what's in here now.
Anyways, that's a little bit of something I wanted to talk about and cover last night. Like I said, we try to drop every week. So sometimes we just throw topics in, and that's basically what we're doing. And the other thing, wait a minute. I wanted to read this. This is what you were talking about. If you have been successful in solving your own domestic problems, tell the newcomers, blah, 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 blah. That's not no, it's right here. Assume we are spiritually fit. We can do all
Page
sorts
101.
of... Yep, we're going
100,
right at the bottom of 100.
101, yeah.
Assuming we are spiritually fit, we can do all sorts of things alcoholics are not supposed to do. People have said we must not go where liquor is served. We must not have in our homes. We must shun friends who drink. We must avoid moving pictures which show drinking scenes. We must not go into bars. Our friends must hide their bottles if we go to their house. We must think mustn't think or be reminded about alcohol at all. Our experience shows that this is not necessarily so. We meet all these conditions every day. An alcoholic who cannot meet them still has an alcoholic mind.
Finish the next sentence. There is something wrong with his spiritual status.
His only chance, has an alcoholic mind. There is something the matter with his spiritual status. His only chance of sobriety would be someplace like the Greenland ice cap, and even there an Eskimo might turn up with a bottle of scotch
and ruin everything.
Right. That's where we got into last night with Andrew. Right. We were talking about that. It's like,
because that's obvious.
Right. Well, I mean, we stay spiritually. Right. There's something wrong
with your spiritual status.
Right. And if you feel like, I mean, you haven't, because basically what he was saying last night is, I haven't had any contact with anybody.
Yeah, I know resentment's the number one offender, but I really didn't hurt anybody.
Right.
Okay, then. But
Right.
you've been walking on because of what he's been sharing with us, which we saw it coming when he brought up the trigger bullshit in the meeting.
Right.
That's why the look I had on my face. And then 4 weeks later,
he was out.
Not due to what he said he was going to do, not his little trigger. He never tripped over that. He just went and drank. He left a fucking meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, went and got a bottle.
Right.
There's something wrong with your spiritual status. Right. You didn't do something. You didn't clean up something.
So, what does it say in the steps? If we let go absolute, right?
Absolute. Yeah.
The very bottom, if you let go absolute.
Absolutely.
Right here. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness as our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us had tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go. Absolutely. Right?
100%. Now, what you read about the Greenland ice cap, staying spiritually fit. Something wrong with spiritual fitness. What page does that take you right back to? Because now, where did Bill first drive that home? Page 84, 85. We're talking about the 10th step where it says, I'm going to go back. I'm going to start on page 85 where it says, this is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. Oh shit, how do we react? Let's find out. And we have ceased fighting anything, this is the 10th step, anything or anyone, even alcohol, for by this time sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor, promise. If tempted, we recoil from it as if from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally.
Right.
And we will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude towards liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. We're not fighting it. This is the miracle of it. We are not fighting it. Neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we've been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We have not even sworn off, Larry. Instead, the problem has been removed by God. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky, prideful, nor are we afraid, fearful. This is our experience. This is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition.
Right.
So if you're spiritually fit, that's how you should react.
Right.
And if you go above the two paragraphs above that, what I started, will tell you how to stay on a daily basis in fit spiritual condition. Right. It's simple.
So either he didn't have a sponsor that explained that very well to him, or he didn't let go absolutely.
Or he did he didn't do a thorough.
And that's, with my sponsee, the other day when we were going through his fifth step, I was like, okay, is that it? And we would talk for a little bit. And he's like, well, there is this other thing. Okay, is that it? No, there is this other thing. And then we would talk for a little while. Is that it? Is that it now? Remember, then I'd go back and read that. We got to let go absolute, right? Mm-hmm. This is it. How free do you want to be?
Yeah.
So obviously somebody didn't read him, get him through that.
He did. Right? He did. I would assume listening to him. Yeah, I've done the steps. Really?
Well, he said last night that he needs to go back through them. He obviously didn't do them right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
clean house.
I know a good sponsor. His name's Rob. Dude, you need to walk him through.
I've got Derek going on Mondays, and I've got
our audience has no fucking idea who we're talking about.
Lauren going on Thursdays. No, but I do.
I know.
And Lauren, and they're both kind of right neck and neck. So I'm getting ready for a new one. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And they're killing it.
It's I'm about done with Blake. So,
no.
Anyways,
but here's the thing.
But I ain't taking another one unless God drops one in me.
But again, okay. Remember, I don't even remember what the cat's name was. He'd come to our meeting once. He came in struggling. Remember his dad? I don't even remember what the guy's name was. He was at the Thursday meeting. This is maybe 2 months ago. And his dad had been in the rooms. He needs to get sober. He lives right in the apartments right by the. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what that guy's name was. We haven't seen him since. Remember, I know what I need to do. I need to work these. I know it. But he left that meeting without a sponsor. He left our Monday meeting without a sponsor.
Right.
You don't want help. Andrew, he knows he needs to work these again. There's a meeting with Scott. Last night there was 12, 13 guys that could take him through the steps.
Oh, easily.
Capable.
Very capable.
Did he ask one of them?
No.
So how bad do you want to be free?
How free do you want to be?
And how bad do you want to be free?
Right.
Everyone wants to be free, but are you willing to put in the fucking work?
Or he's just not done.
You're not done. Are you willing to humble yourself?
Right.
And say, I need help? Obviously
Just not done.
No. Get finished.
All right, here we go. We have no right to save our own skin to another person expense. Start
that again. I interrupted you. Sorry.
It's all right.
But
I should have said the page.
But really emphasize, because listen to the language Bill uses. This is the first time he's going to mention this in a short. I mean, we're talking about in probably a 6-page. You know, he's going to mention it 3 times in 3 different ways because he wants to get this.
Well, that's
point
why I'm trying to. I'm
so
opening
emphasize
this
the
up.
words.
Yeah,
emphasize.
I'm opening this up for you because you did an amazing job explaining this last night, and this is where it started. We have no right to save our own skin at another person's expense. Such parts of our story we tell to someone who will understand, yet be unaffected. The rule: we must be hard on ourselves, but always considerate of others.
Right. Now, what does he do? This is talking about amends.
Right.
When we go, by the time you get to the 9th step, this is the first time your sponsor actually lets you go out into the fucking world.
Right.
And interact with people.
Right.
And some guys are prepared for that and ready to go because you've prepped them. Some guys, you've got to, hey, hold on. Right. And a lot of guys, when they get in, if you got to know your guy's personality, but
for sure.
When they get into the fire, what are they going to do?
Right.
They're going to blame. They're going to bring someone else's name involved, shit like that, and that's. And then what does Bill say on page? If you go to, if it wasn't, again, you got to cover all this before you get to go out. So Bill finds out on page 78. I'm sorry, not 78. It's 79. Usually, this is what 5 pages after what you read.
Right.
Usually, however, other people are involved. Oh, we just heard. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Therefore, we are not to be the hasty and foolish martyr who would needlessly sacrifice others to save himself from the alcoholic pit. Oh, then turn the page. Bill's want to hit you one more fucking time before I let you go out into the world, because
this is why I sparked you. Get it?
Before taking drastic actions, which may implicate another person, secure their consent. If we have obtained permission, have consulted with others, asking God to help, and the drastic step indicated we must not shrink. Then, okay, now go, because I've seen, and I've heard, but I've seen personally, which I shared that one story last night. People do so much damage by going out and not being prepared for the 9th step. And it's so simple. That's why we don't say we're sorry.
Right.
XYZ behavior was wrong. Please forgive me. Right. What can I do to make it right? And whether or not they forgive you, you're there to clean off your side of the street the best you're. That's all you need to say.
Right. Yeah.
Then you just take what they've got. But so-and-so did this. And you start bringing up other people's names when the fire starts coming.
Right.
Don't do that. You just stand there and take it.
Right.
And you've got to prepare them for that, because they can do, I've seen marriages get destroyed by a faulty
tell that story.
Tell
that story. I mean, there's no names involved because it's true. I mean, listen, this subject came up, right? This subject came up because
I was asked to give an example, and because I've sponsored a lot of men. Here's the example.
Thank you.
Going through the 9th step. We'll just find that place in the book where it says, if sex is involved, it says, if there was affair, and the wife doesn't know about it, the big book says, do you tell her? Not necessarily so. And it talks about talking
about infidelity.
But what the big book says, not necessarily. We don't bring it up if she knows in a way that you've been wild in each situation. But the big book's pretty specific on it. But this is what happened: a gentleman had an affair on his wife. Right? It was a one-time deal. He didn't bring no diseases home, nothing like that. She didn't know about it. He got sober. We worked through the steps, and I told him what the big book was about. We went through the book, and what the book is clear on that. Good. He was about, and he goes, well, Rob, because I have men, who they have things like there's some things that I never could get to. My parents are dead. There are certain things that some of us have to walk with, and God will give you the strength to walk with it. Don't fucking repeat the behavior. God will give you the strength, but you have no right to hurt another human being, to get the monkey off your back.
Save your soul.
Yeah, so the guilt and the shame was eating this guy alive. Because he went, just had to tell his wife. Because he's
after 8 months.
He was 8 months sober. He was 8 months sober. right?
Right.
But he made a decision based on guilt, fear, and shame and remorse.
Right.
Not on truth,
Right.
not on faith.
Okay.
That's what he did. He was just, because his pain was so much, he had to give it to her.
To give her the pain.
So she tried, and he did. Basically, that's what he did. I'm going to pour this on you. I'm going to pour this poison that's in me on you.
Yeah.
Because he didn't believe this, and he didn't trust in God. Because I know men that are walking with some shit that makes this look like nothing.
Right.
And God gives them, and they are amazing men of God today. So about 6 months later, so he makes it a year, and the wife, they try to work it out, but she eventually just can't.
She can't get past it.
No, can't get past it. They get divorced. He had 2 beautiful little girls. Still does. I don't know if he might be drunk now. Still is. I'm sure he is. I don't know he is. I hope he's sober. I don't think he is.
Pray for him.
Doesn't matter. So after the divorce, and they're working out, and he was still sober at the time. He had made it, I think, like a year and 3 months. The wife said this: "I wish you hadn't told me." I mean, in a lot stronger words. She says, "We were happy.
Right.
You were sober. It happened. Okay."
He would eventually went and got drunk.
You didn't, but no, you wouldn't.
You don't think so?
No, what I just
With
tell you.
that guilt?
No. If you would have worked it the way you're supposed to work it.
No. Him carrying that guilt.
Don't carry it. It's not yours to carry.
No, but he was carrying it.
Right.
But that's my point.
And he made a decision based on guilt, fear, shame, remorse.
If he had kept holding that
he
on.
didn't do the right work.
Correct.
Because I know men walking with.
Well, it's
today.
fine.
I mean,
more than that.
A lot more than that.
You don't need to say detail,
Yeah, but God gives them the strength to do that. Because number one, the behavior, and they mean the behavior cannot repeat.
Right. I've talked to guys that if they said it out loud to some people, they'd be in jail for a while.
I would. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I would never say this story, but the wife's reply
cut that
was saying something.
Right.
I wish you hadn't told me. We were happy. You didn't, because when I said it was her, these are her words. Honey, you didn't bring any diseases home to me. Gratefully, I didn't know. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. I wish you wouldn't have told me.
Everything was good.
Everything was good.
He just couldn't let it be his own shit.
He just couldn't let it be good.
Right.
He let the pain and the guilt wear up in him. Okay, I'm going to pour this shit on you. That's where Bill writes, we don't have the fucking right. Don't go to your mom. Man, mom, I really want you to. There's some things that, even if my parents were alive, I would not tell them. They don't need to hear it. I'll walk with that.
Right.
They don't need to know that. I'm not going to get the monkey off my back to make myself feel better and give mom, and have that working in my mother's head.
Right.
No, won't do it.
No.
I'll walk with it, and my Lord will give me the strength.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
I get it. I completely get it.
Yeah.
I think on my side, just in the thought process, because I thank God I never had to deal with that.
No, hey.
Thank God.
Thank God. But there are men that deal with that, and then they deal with it well.
Right. So you just hope and pray that, that I would have, right? God forbid that I think that's my biggest hang up on that is I know what my guilt would be doing to me, but I also know how hard I work to get rid of that stuff.
How's your guilt from the way you lived your life before? I mean, even
it's gone. It's gone.
So why wouldn't the other one be gone?
Well,
so why wouldn't God remove the other one?
I mean, you hurt your wife, right?
Did you hurt you didn't hurt your wife?
I did.
I hurt my wife too.
Okay. I think there's levels of hurt.
There may be, but it depends.
I mean, that's a whole different level of hurt.
Maybe.
Right.
But
I mean, I'm not.
No, I know, but I'm saying is
not defending what he did. Didn't.
He made a choice, and his choice had consequences.
Right. And it's just, I think what I look at is like, I can't judge. We've had guys come in. I'll still not forget this. We went up to Knight's Ferry. We went up there. And it was a couple days before, like a few weeks before Christmas.
Hey,
this old chap come in. What?
After you get done, I want to follow up on something. Go ahead.
Well, go.
Okay,
because you'll forget, you old fucker.
You're probably right. I've also seen this work in reverse. That's the story I just gave you. Because right now, any woman listening to this podcast, he was right to tell her. He's right. I've also had. Okay. Not me. This is not me. This is a friend of mine, female, had the same thing, but the reverse. The wife had an affair. She had actually had 2 affairs going on at the same time. However, she ended them. She got sober, didn't bring nothing home to the husband. And again, things were going great. Things were going fantastic. But she, right? And the husband more or less said the same kind of thing. So because I can hear people. Well, he was right to do that. Now it's reversed. Females, I've seen women do the same thing.
I don't know. I think
again, and each situation's different.
Right.
I just showed him what was in the book, showed him what other men have done. I mean, and shared with him what some other men, no names, but what they're walking with. You know, he's like, oh, damn. Exactly. So give it some time. Let's pray about it. If God's clear, God will be clear.
Right.
But not all the time do we become the martyr.
Right.
Look at me.
Right.
Because what you just did.
Yeah. What he did was, and you're 1,000% right. He made himself feel better at the pain of somebody
at the
else.
expense of someone else.
Right. And that's
now,
that's
if your motives are, because motives are everything with God, and this motives
1,000%.
are everything. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Right. Right.
Is it to ease your comfort?
That's all it was.
Is it to ease your conscience?
Right.
Is it the right thing to do then?
Right.
Or are you doing it for truth? Are you doing it for what's right? I mean, there are circumstances where, hey, the utmost frankness is absolutely ready to have. And there are times when it's not.
Right. Right. And that's what it talks about in number 9, right? What I was getting at is, I think about stuff like this, like Mike and Kim went through, and Jason went through, I was listening to him. Like I said, we went into Knights Ferry, and it was a little bit before Christmas, I think. And this old boy from Patterson came in there, and he had just lost his wife 3 days prior to that.
Right.
3 days prior to coming in there. And it was probably like a week before Christmas. And I'm thinking to myself, God bless you. How the fuck would I handle that?
Exactly the way he did. Where should he be?
I pray.
Into the rooms around his men.
And I get it, but I'm also saying the same thing as I don't know how I'd have reacted if I'd had, once again, we don't know how we're going to react until we're put into that situation. Right. So I can't judge somebody. I don't want to.
That's where I would
be. And this is why, because I know you well enough, Rob, that we're not judging that guy on what he did.
No.
What we feel his actions were wrong, but we didn't have to live in his shoes, and we don't know what he would have done with that guilt. Hey, guilt kills people.
Yes,
guilt
does.
Makes people hang themselves
and drink themselves to death. Absolutely.
So guilt is a horrible fucking thing to live with.
Remorse, all those
How
things.
you deal with it is
of the utmost importance.
Right.
Don't do any more damage than needed
to somebody else. Yeah. Right. And that, I think, is the biggest key coming out of that.
And I'm not saying every situation is cookie cutter, because it isn't.
For sure.
But I believe his was. I believe he handled it poorly because his motives are wrong.
Right. And I don't, once again, not disagreeing with you. I don't know how I would have, I know how my guilt gets me. Mm-hmm. Even if I shrink one of my wife's shirts in the dryer because I wasn't supposed to dry it and I fold it and hide it, that would guilt me till I fucking had to pull it out and say, I fucking shrinked your shirt. I can't.
I just showed her, hey, babe, look what I just did.
I know.
I'd let her find it. Did you just, I did it. I did it.
My guilt is fucking,
I won't even, horrible. I won't even feel it. I ain't got to feel no guilt. Here,
no,
I did.
I probably would have done, that's probably would, but it ain't fucking another guy's wife or, fucking around. It's just not that. I mean, there's levels of that.
There's levels.
I don't know how that.
Hey, my wife thinks pornography. If I was to watch pornography, that's cheating.
I don't disagree with her. Don't disagree with her.
I do, but I don't watch it. But but still, hey, okay, I do midget porn. Just kidding.
That's comedy.
Just kidding. Hey,
that's comedy.
Just kidding.
That's not.
That's funny.
There's no porn
there.
But
we need to talk about that because a lot of the men I sponsored, a lot of them. You're not one of them, but also struggle with that.
Oh, for sure.
And that's something when I go through this,
especially after they get sober.
When I go through the sex inventory, because that's one of the things to bring up. Hey, how are you with pornography? Right. He's like, well, shit, Rob, I'm kind of not. I'm working on. Okay, then that's something. Then right then, it's a great time just for anybody listening. Turn the steps and let's start working a little bit of that. Right. Because that's poison.
There's more stuff out there.
That's poison.
Absolutely.
That's as much poison as whiskey or drugs.
Yeah.
It'll destroy marriages. It'll destroy lives.
Right.
It's terrible. So
yeah, it is absolutely. I've seen guys.
There's my public broadcast.
Yeah, but I've seen guys destroy their lives. I mean,
yes,
I've watched it even when I was still drinking. I'm just like, did you cheat on him? No. What happened? I couldn't stop looking at porn. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean,
it's an addiction. Gambling. It's crazy, man.
I mean, I'm sitting here drinking my probably 100th beer and judging him for looking at porn. Yeah. The addiction's the same.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
It's just as destructive.
So is my alcohol.
And God's just as big.
Right.
Can work. So tie him in if you can. That's just something to think about next time you sponsor someone.
Right.
Ask him.
Right. Recovery Unfiltered podcast at gmail.com. Rob, anything else?
Not that I
You
can
done
think of.
yelling at me?
No, I didn't yell. Did I? Did I get?
No. I love getting you riled up, but I still want to do a whole series of podcasts.
Would I jump from page to page?
Just
Hey,
when you go, the way you flip from like Bill, how you got such a grasp on how Bill writes, and you remember that book so well. And I want to do a whole series of a podcast where we just literally dig into that kind of stuff and just have you record it, because I think it's very valuable, and I love when you do it. It's hard to keep up with you, but if it's recorded, people can go back and forth.
Well, like the meetings, because when we're going, it's just spontaneous. Because
it is. It's hard to say.
Well, because in my look here, I'm just happy to be on page 77 here, which, if you want to know, for everybody, on the top of page 77 tells you what your purpose is, and it's not just me. And I'll tell you what it is. It says our real purpose, not our fake one. Our real purpose is to talk to the alcoholics, and this is the way we're supposed to live. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us. Got nothing to do with us.
All right.
And if you want to go to page 102,
here we go. See, this is what I love.
Go to page 102, because Bill wants to drive something home to you. So he spreads it out just enough. And again, some people want to say it's inspired. I don't know what you want to say, but what does it say on page 102? Your job, this is at the bottom third, where it says your job now.
Right.
Your job now is to be at the place where you may be of there's the word. Here's how you know he's got the same thought. Maximum.
Right.
He doesn't say service, he says helpfulness. But maximum is there. So you know he's touching back on.
Right.
Yeah. Of maximum helpfulness to others. So never hesitate to go anywhere if you can be helpful. You should not hesitate to visit the most sordid spot on earth. Listen to that.
Yeah.
On such an errand. Keep on the firing line of life with these motives, and God will keep you unharmed. That's a fucking promise.
Right.
That's a promise better than anything in the ninth step.
Right.
Listen to that. Go to any sordid spot with your motive correct.
Right.
Of help and service.
That's
not
with
guilt,
anything.
shame, fear, remorse. Help and service, and God will keep you unharmed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a promise.
Love it. See, that's where I would love to do like a whole series of you grabbing just like you're already digging at something else over there.
Well, because every page, every margin has a number, a page number, so you can go back and see how these things tie in, because it's important. When Bill repeats something, or anybody, when the Bible repeats it, it's for effect.
Well, for sure.
Because, and it's not just willy-nilly, it's because we have seen people, I have seen people, I know people who have destroyed marriages, destroyed their lives, doing things for the wrong reasons. Not necessarily the wrong thing, but you did it with the wrong motive.
Right, the motive.
Which is what makes it wrong.
Right, absolutely.
So, and destroy things when you could be living a happy, joyous life right now. You fucking pussy.
There you go.
Sorry, cut that out. That's wrong. But that's, again, just... Because I know, I'm so grateful to God, because I know guys walking with stuff, and man, and they are the most used
gracious,
of God. But not that, they're the most used men of God that I know. He who loves much has been forgiven much.
Right.
He who loves little has been forgiven little.
Right.
So trust me.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
I love you.
So keep, stay on the firing lines, and God will keep you unharmed. And don't ever make a decision based on fear, guilt, shame, remorse. If it's not truth, if it's not fact, walk with it.
Right. There you go. Recovery Unfiltered Podcast at gmail.com. That's Recovery Unfiltered Podcast at gmail.com. We'll come back in a week.
If you're lucky.
Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you learned something today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in. Take care.
This has been Recovery Unfiltered.